Hey, what's up everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. Looking at myself through the mirror. Let's flip it around so we can see myself here. Alright, so there we go. Alright. Just got to watching highlights of the Washington Wizards and the Charlotte Hornets. And the Washington Wizards are an intriguing team to me, and I kind of want to talk about them. So basically, my thought about them is they don't really have anything specifically special, but they do have a lot of good talent, and of course they have all of their picks. So I look at them as a team that is very intriguing. The thing that comes to mind when I look at that team is when you identify what you believe the Washington Wizards to be, you have certain assumptions about certain players. But the thing about that is that some of those players have yet to fully develop. Maybe they're a little far behind on their development because of injury issues and things of that nature. So I look at players like Rui Hachimura and Denny Advija, for example. Look at another guy like Corey Kispert. That's another one. Like, those are three basically lottery picks that they haven't really had, pan out as of yet. But when I look at those players, it's like there's nothing wrong with those guys. They're still on par to develop into whatever it is you thought they would be. They just got some setbacks. Now, for me, I look at players and I say I need everybody to have at least 4 years, 4 healthy seasons before I can look at them and say I'm expecting them to really be good pros, So give me 4 years. And when I look at Rui Hachimura, I say, okay, he's been set back maybe twice by 2 pretty big injuries that have made it so that his years have not been full years. And with the presence of certain other players that have come in, he hasn't really had an opportunity to show what it is he can do. But when he's healthy, you can see he's a high-level player. He can rebound the ball. He loves shooting the mid-range shot. He plays defense, a big body power forward with athleticism. So it's like, all right, if he ever gets it going, he can be somebody. Then you look at Corey Kispert. It's a player they drafted a couple years ago, lottery pick. Had some serious injuries in his rookie season, but he's a pure shooter. The boy's going to shoot all day long, and he's going to hit a lot of 3-point shots in his career. But he's going to have to get in shape. He's going to have to get his conditioning right, and then he's going to have to fully develop. It's only been 2 years with the injury. It's still early, And I look at a guy like Denny Advija. That's a guy who every time he's healthy, he shows that he has a combination of things that he can do for his team. He's basically a big point guard, but he's broken his leg. And that has set his development behind a little bit, and because of that, you see them kind of have other guys that they put in front of them, and so on and so forth. But then you look at a game like tonight, and you're saying, okay, he's healthy, he looks pretty good. You look at Rui Hachimura, he's healthy, he looks pretty good. You look at Corey Kispert, healthy, looks pretty good. And you look at the rest of the team, it's like, okay, KP, he's healthy, he looks pretty good. Kyle Kuzma, he's healthy and looks pretty good. So it's like, all right, you look at this team, you look at the roster, you're like, I like what I see. It's nothing there that makes me say, okay, they can do something. But they do have a lot that they can trade or that they can use and kind of continue to develop. And if they don't make any trades, if they don't do anything at all, what I see is a team that reminds me of the Clippers before they got Kawhi and PG. A team that's scrappy, who might be able to make the play-in tournament, and then is going to have a lot of money to throw at a free agent, or a lot of money to kind of improve their situation from here. With those picks, if they draft them, you're looking at a team that can get better fast. So I'm very intrigued, especially with what I'm seeing out of Kyle Kuzma and how he's playing, the addition of Will Barton and how he's playing with the team. I'm just curious to see what they're going to do, man. I like everything about their situation if I'm a GM, and would feel real confident that I can basically build anything in Washington right now. So the sky's the limit. I like them. Not too many people look at the Washington Wizards as a team that can really do any damage or anything in the future. But I don't think they're too far away from some of these other teams that have a great cachet of things that they can work with to get better. I can think of a team like Utah. I don't think Washington's too far away from where Utah is. Now, Utah's team is playing better. They may have a better cachet of talent on the floor this season. But if you zoom out at their overall big picture 5-year plan, you look and see similarities. Both of those teams look like they can build anything if they want to. So if I'm Washington, I'm not feeling too bad about anything right now. If I'm Bradley Beal, my timeline might not be intact, but since I'm attached to the team, I feel confident that I'm going to retire on a very good team at some point. Like, as things go, if they just do nothing and he plays another 3 years, this team is going to be good by the time it's over with. Just with the sheer talent that I've already mentioned. So, I think this team has a chance to be pretty good. I think they would be wise to consider moving a couple of those guys that I mentioned early on. Rui Hachimura, I wouldn't mind seeing them move him for value. Just in case he continues to have injury issues, I think they can improve there in general, and I think his value can be still pretty high since he's a young player who could help a team. So I would shop him, and Denny for that matter. Those are players that you can move and not hurt your overall big picture, uh, and kind of improve your situation overall based on their value and their injury history and what could go wrong there. So that's what I'm saying, man. That's really what it comes down to when I look at the Washington Wizards. If I have them projected to do anything, it'd probably be like a play-in tournament situation. Um, a lot is riding on health with some of those guys, as we've already mentioned. Obviously, the health is most important because they don't have guys on that team that I've mentioned there that don't have health issues. The only one I can think of is Kyle Kuzma that hasn't had any major issues. So that would be why I'd want to shuffle some things around more than anything. But you got to feel confident that if you're the Washington Wizards, if you are a player who's looking at teams that you're trying to consider where you might want to go, one thing I'm looking at there is that guys have gotten healthy there. You look at Kristaps Porzingis and the fact that he kind of came there I'm not gonna say damaged goods, but it was very obvious that he was having a hard time staying healthy in Dallas. Well, in Washington, they've taken good care of him. He looks pretty good out there, And then I just look at some of those guys like Rui and those guys. They have come back from some tough injuries, and they're all on the floor looking great right now in a win tonight. So you can see yourself being in a space where you're going to have what you need to heal up and get back on the court. So in a lot of situations where players just can't have a tough time getting healthy, have a tough time coming back from injury, what I see is an organization that's having success in bringing guys back from injury. So I think that's noteworthy. And they have had a lot of experience with that, needless to say, with some of the players that have been in their uniform. So they would be wise to be good at that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I look at that Washington Wizards team and I say that would be a great spot for a guy like Scoot Henderson. You know what I mean? I don't think they're tanking to that degree, but I think that would be a good fit. Put him next to Bradley Beal, and they could be a little different then with all that they have right there. So that's the type of piece I think they would be wise to try to find a John Moran-ish type of, extraordinary point guard type of player to throw in there as the cherry on top for that roster. I think it would really be good then. I look at guys like Gafford. I like him a lot. KP, some other guys on that bench too that are pretty good. But if they can improve their point guard position possibly, and maybe even bring themselves a extraordinary center of some sort someday, that would be what they would need ultimately to make this roster crazy great. In a perfect world, they would be able to acquire a guy like DeAndre Ayton and like I said, John Moran or Scoot Henderson. Boom. Now the Washington Wizards are exactly where I see them going, trying to compete for something. That's what they're missing, those two pieces. So that's not a small feat, but they have the cap space to get something crazy great like that. They can do it. They can make something happen with the picks that they have. So that's what I'm saying. It's up to Washington. If they want to mortgage their future, I wouldn't suggest it. Or just, balance it out by drafting a few of them and maybe taking some of those young pieces and moving them around so you can have even more flexibility if necessary. So just curious to see what they want to do. They got it all. They don't even need to create flexibility. They have it. And that's the beauty of their situation. So that's what I got to say, man. Going to watch my Laker game now. Hopefully have no issues uploading videos because I told you guys that's been a thing. But we'll see, man. BDF44. Thank you all for watching. I'm out.